People who think music was better in the past, what do you think was the cause of its downfall? It's far easier to produce and release music now than it ever was before. The result of that is that many people now have the chance to put something out, and that has given the world some real talents and some real atrocities. Image, marketability trumps actual talent now. The music industry decided the best follow-up to 90s alt-rock was boy bands. Been downhill since then. Well, the pop music industry wasn't around. Localization, regionalization of music is not really a thing anymore because the huge popular music industry homogenized music globally. Music all kind of sounds the same these days. A large majority of the music written follows this rubric. 4 or less chords, 4/4 time, sub 4 minutes, and feature tenor or higher voices using an ABBA song structure. Songwriting by Committee for Pop Music and Rock Bands put out a new LP every 3 to 7 years. Money. Advances in electronic technology have made it possible for anyone to sound reasonably good. The music industry markets singers based on their looks. The better looking, the better the sales. Rap going mainstream and crowding all the good music out. People associate music with memories. That's really it. People always think the music they grew up with is better than the music today because that's the music they made memories to. There are countless of musical geniuses today just as there were decades ago. The good music of the past still exists and will always exist. New music can't be the same as old, so it needs to be different, and the people who like the old shit won't be down with the new shit. That's all. Auto-tune. Music was the best at the exact moment in time I was the most emotionally vulnerable and looking to express myself. When I was a teenager. Funny how that works out. I think music is better than ever. If you go out there and look for it, you are guaranteed to find fantastic music that you love. Things like being able to self-publish gave rise to a whole set of new music genres that wouldn't have come without radio hosts and music producers controlling everything. I mean, have you heard of stuff like funk? Absolutely fascinating if you ask me. Because people now will make stupid people famous for being stupid. Overpowering instruments rather than more weightage to words and singer. Music videos. Once pretty people started being marketed as musicians, it started declining. Look at the Rolling Stones, Black Sabbath, Queen, the Beatles, all of them are fugly. Kind of funny how I thought about classical music. Well, I guess there are a lot of factors which lead to the fact that we do not have as great composers as in the past 2 centuries. Money, talent, the composer's abstraction, the audience, etc. It's very sad to see this beautiful art degenerate. Music today is good if you know where to look. The reason why people think old music is so great is because they have forgotten about all the shit that's being forgotten about. It is the same with movies. When people talk about how great the movies were in the 80s, they're only talking about 20 or so movies, and they forget that there was hundreds that came out then. When we look back on the great music of the 70s, 80s and 90s, we are ignoring 90% of what came out and just focusing on the greats that have survived. I got old. Spotify and other streaming services. The fact that artists get played per click and not for the time listened lead to a huge decrease in the average length of songs. It hurts some genres more than others, and it fucked the whole rap game. Imho. Slimeball music execs. Technology. Computers. Bad Bunny. Auto-tune. Lack of talent nowadays. Billie Eilish, and the list goes on and on. money, auto-tune and the electronic sound opposed to actual instruments. Computers make most music now. Voices are smoothed by computers as well. Pre-1980 it took musicians with actual talent to make music. I definitely think that in terms of what gets popular on the radio, record producers have gotten better and better at clamping down on innovation to churn out the same safe sound over and over and over. Even when there is an artist who does something different, how often do we see them just fall back into the same sound everyone else is using? Granted, if you get away from the radio, there's all sorts of awesome stuff out there. A lot of genres go bad once they become oversaturated. Modern rock and rap. In the future people will only listen to the good music that is coming out today. The bad stuff will be forgotten. There was plenty of shitty music being made in the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s. But we don't remember it because it wasn't good enough to stand the test of time. We only hear the good stuff. I mean, look at a top 40 chart from 5 years ago. So much of that stuff will have been forgotten already. The metal scene isn't doing too good. Need a new wave, and a new scene that is fresh needs to arrive. Haven't really been listening to much metal since 2017.